Hello, JaneStorm here. Another week has gone by. I'm expecting to see Priya in a few minutes. But in the meantime, today is World Kindness Day. And it just so happens that I happen to be in my mom's house. For those that know, you know that she was the first hope activator in my life. And whenever I come here, there's this calming feeling that comes over me. And this week has been hard. It's been a really hard week. I came on last week. I was so raw, and I realized I was coaching myself to get through whatever we had gone through the night before and that day. And now, and then a very dear friend of mine had a tragedy in his life that just blew away any other thing that could happen. And we just don't know what's going to happen and when something sudden is going to be upon us that is going to have to bring us courage and love and community. And there won't be answers. And we have to figure out how to move on without the answers. So my message still comes to hope that no matter what, we've got to hold on to that positive energy, and we've got to figure out how we make that work. And how perfect is it that with that, my Priya is here. So,
Hi, Jane. It's so good to see you again here. It's so good to see to us go live.
yes, yes, yes. I was just as I was, alone. I was talking about last week when I was so raw by myself on here, and how I was coaching myself through last week, and then having the horrific tragedy that happened to my friends, and getting through that, and realizing that more love, more hope, more kindness, more resilience, and walking amongst
World
each
needs that.
other. We don't have to all hold hands, but we do have to live in grace, and we have to live in kindness and patience. We don't have to hang out with the people that rise our blood pressure or we don't understand. But we may have to go but
Absolutely.
we may have to be in the same store as them. We may have to be in the same restaurant as them. We may have to be in the same
I know.
airplane as them, which is a small space. And we have to figure out how we move forward. I can tell you, you know this, Priya, I am a mother bear. If someone is going to hurt me or anybody around me, even more so, I am going to fight for them. So right last week, I was coaching myself through this. Yet I will tell you, if there is injustice that happens, I will not stand back. If there are people
Love that,
that
Jane.
hurt people that I love, or people that are disenfranchised, I will not stand back. This is,
It is very important,
yeah,
yeah, to protect your loved ones.
yes. And the people that don't have others to protect them. We need to build villages. At the service I went to on Monday, the rabbi said, God is in all of us. We are God, right? We are one. We are community. When you're looking for hope, when you're looking for that space of grace, when you're looking for love, find your community, find your people.
Absolutely. When you spoke about that, you may have to live with unkind people, maybe in the same restaurant, maybe in the same company,
Mhm.
right? So, there, wherever you are right now,
Yeah.
at your home, at your office, at your fun place, wherever, even in the same cab, right? You may find people you don't like. You may find people who are unkind with you, but you may not have any choice but to walk along with them.
Yes.
There are situations where you have to walk along as well with the unkind
Yes.
people. The best way to deal at that times, to walk along with those people, is to walk with your own
Mm,
boundaries.
yes.
You at those times you may not have physical
Yeah.
boundaries, but you anytime and always have mental
Yeah.
boundaries. It's said that nobody can hurt you without your own consent, right?
Such a good one.
So we involve our
Mm,
energy into that hurt,
yeah.
right? It is all up to us.
Yeah.
How much do we get hurt?
Mm,
You just have to train your mind. And this is very difficult,
it is.
Jane. Only with the help of right people, community, that is where community comes in.
Yeah.
The hands you hold. So it said that if you have just five people
Mm,
of your choice around you, you become like
yeah.
them,
Yeah.
right? So now you have to choose those five people around you, no matter offline, online. You just have to choose them and remember they are with you.
Yes.
And whenever you have to walk along with those unkind people, just bring one of them that person with you and start walking along with this another person as well, so you will not feel the negative energy of the negative person.
Yeah. And when it's family, as we get closer to holidays in the United States and people having to be gathering around a table where there may be some stress, my mom used to say, um, meet the person as if you're meeting them for the first time. It
Hmm,
is not easy to do, but I've done it, where you can literally go in and you meet
that's
the
brave.
person for the first time. Leave all the other people's opinions off your shoulder. Leave all the baggage behind. Just meet them and move on for that moment. For
that
survival. We're in
that is a
survival.
huge
We're in
advice.
survival.
Hmm,
I Yeah.
love that.
Today is World Kindness Day, as I said in the beginning, and I have a story,
World
and I
kindness.
hope you do. So yesterday, I flew down suddenly on Sunday, and when I got to my place down in Florida, I didn't know that I had a huge leak. Good news to go through the story is that it was on
Okay,
the outside. It was
okay.
not on the inside. I didn't know that at the time. Second good news, I have a best friend, Nancy, that lives 15 minutes from here. I was able to stay with her. But when I went to go get help, um, I was greeted not so nice by someone. Um,
Okay,
and I gave it grace, but I also was like, this is emergency. But then 15
right.
minutes later, I talked to the woman that's owns the plumbing agency. She's the wife of the owner. And her name is Sherry. And I told her where I lived and everything. And halfway through the conversation, she said, Jane, can you tell me what happened to Peg Buckley? And I said, oh, my mom had cancer and she passed away in April of 2022. And Sherry got very upset. And then she said, Peg
Hmm.
Buckley was one of the kindest people I knew and the best client I had in Village Gardens.
Wow. So she's
Now,
still living.
can you imagine that that's since April of 20, like, and then within an hour, they were at my house and they fixed the problem. And you can't
Love
tell me
that.
that was because of me. That was because of my mom, Peg's
I
legacy.
know that. Yes, yes, she had created a legacy that is going to be there. That is going to be alive 100,000 years,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
know.
And
Love
so
that. Love
it was
that.
it was a beautiful gesture on her part. And one of the things that came up this week also is And I'll ask you. You had a horrific thing happen with your brother. How do you feel about talking about him? Do you like to share stories about him?
I do.
You do, right?
I
Because you
I
want to keep
do
him
love.
alive.
Yes, yes. I want to keep him alive, and yeah. So we actually, if we don't talk about them, if we don't remember them, um, right? What happens now, Jane? When I am sleep, I'm
Mhm.
actually living him more than, like, because
Wow.
rarely do people come and talk to you about the people who are no more with you, right?
Mm,
Because they think you are at grief, you will not feel good about it. So
mm.
many times you're not able to share what you have inside, although you want to. There are
Yes.
tears, yeah, there are tears that are good to come out.
Yes.
They don't, because people don't speak about it, right?
Right.
So I I often talk to my brother in my sleep,
I
and
love
I
that.
love to in my sleep. And what happens is I often see a dream since years that he has come back. He is with us. There has some miracle happen and he is back. I don't know
Mm,
why do I see that happening, but my future life will tell
yes.
more about
Yes.
it.
And
Yes,
so
Jamie.
so one of the things that you and your dad do as an act of kindness as we think of World Kindness Day, can you share that? Because it's so beautiful.
Did you say my dad?
Yeah, you and your dad do something special.
Okay. I did not understand. I mean, he does his own things. Like,
Right.
he I'll tell you one kind story of for my dad what he does. So
Yes.
he is a giver, he's not a taker. He
Mm,
believes in giving.
mm,
So even if he goes to the temple, and suppose the saint is giving one piece of sweet, one complete piece of sweet for him, he is not even taking that sweet with him along. He just
mm.
takes a pinch, says, "No, I am not going to take this all. This is all I need. Rest
Wow.
of the things I have." So, this is something that I have inherited from my dad, and I
Yes,
love that. I mean, you have to give.
you
We are
do.
born to give. The more you give, the more universe will give you.
Yes.
This
Yeah,
act of kindness has been taught entirely from my dad.
that's beautiful. I love that. And I remember when I was little, we had the same thing, and it's just it's so much easier to be kind. It really is. It's just it to
Sometimes it's not. It's very
okay.
hard sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes it's very hard. During the criticizing
Oh,
moments when
yes.
someone criticizes you. So there
Mm,
are two types of criticisms, positive and negative, right?
yes.
So many times ego comes in between the positive criticism,
Yeah.
right? You cannot hear bad about you. You
Mm,
cannot hear that you are wrong.
yeah.
Many times you have to train your mind and tell yourself that ego comes later,
Yeah.
love comes first, kindness comes first. So
Wow.
many times, even I realize
Yeah.
all of a sudden, if somebody criticizes, no, I did not do that, or no, I don't think like that, oh, I don't know, I don't believe like that. It
Yes.
happens. But then I step back and think, why am I doing this?
Mm,
This is not about my ego. This is not about me. I so once you taught me, Jane, when you taught me once that people are mirror to you. Whatever,
yes.
however you behave with them, they mirror you. So I realized that when I keep my ego first and respond in that way, they behave in the same, they continue to behave in the same way with us.
Yes.
But when I step back and say, no, I'm wrong, I surrender, I am ready to change,
Surrender.
that is the time when people understand, okay, mistakes happen. So when they also do the mistake, they also do the same. Okay, if Priya can say sorry, I also can say sorry. That is the magic of being in one family, being in one community. We
Yeah.
raise each other, right?
Yes, we're all our teachers, our mentors, right?
Yes.
So last week when I went live, I got a beautiful message the next day from someone, and he was my teacher. He had a very different point of view than me, and
Hmm.
I could have come from my ego. I could have,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
And I stepped back and really intentionally thought about what was
Hmm.
being said, what was the reaction, what could I
Hmm.
own, what could I
Hmm.
change,
Hmm.
and what was he going through. And by the way, that was the most important thing. It wasn't about me, it was about him. And that's
Okay.
where, right? So, but my ego gets in the way. Even now as a coach, it still happens. So we have to spend the time with each other to keep each other in check, with the trust
Yes.
team that you
Yes.
can go to and explain what happened and have them come back and say, oh, Jane, that's not really who you are, or oh, Jane, that's who you are, but let's think of it from a different point of view.
Yes, Jane, that's very important. That's very important to understand somebody else's perspective
Yes.
because they are going through their life situation, whatever things they are going through, the blessings that we have, maybe they don't have them.
Right.
So whenever something like that happens, when my expectations, I expect very little
Mm,
from people, from others. But people who I used to expect much things from my family members. Say there are people who expect
right.
a lot and they
Yes.
think expectation is good. But we have to understand their perspectives as well. The less you expect, the more you understand others.
Yes. Yes. I still have a post-it note up that says, leave your expectations, your assumptions, and your ego at the door. And every single day
Hmm.
I have to look at that, because,
Hmm.
and that goes to so much about how we learn about ourselves and how we communicate with others. So this,
Love that, Jane.
you know that one of the most wise women in my life today is my sister Maggie, and
Okay.
so I happen to be down in Florida, and there's a print that she gave my mom, and I want to read it, and I'm going to post it today.
Yes, Jane.
We promise not a moment will be lost as long as we have heart and voice to speak. And we will walk together with 1,000 others and 1,000 more, on and on, until there is no one among us who does not know the truth. There is no future without love. There
Love
is
that.
no future without love.
No future without love. That is so true.
So as we navigate World Kindness Day, as we navigate all of the hard times, the grief, the sadness, the anger that is, and the ability for some not to be able to process it because they're so busy helping others, I send them blessings. I send the world blessings of love, of hope, of grace, and of peace.
Jane, I just want to share one last thing that on the World Kindness Day, you will become more kind when you will find peace within yourself.
Yeah.
So, when I was looking at LinkedIn today, there were many people who are doing the 30 days gratitude challenge.
Yes.
So they are training their mind to look at the things they are grateful for every single day. I think it's a great idea because even if you have one pain in your heart, and
Mhm.
at that time you remember one or two things that you're
Yeah.
grateful for and you don't want to miss them,
Yeah.
the pain goes away. I'm telling
Mhm.
you, we humans are, our happiness is not dependent on
Mhm.
one pain or one, like that. If even
Yeah.
if we give ourselves, so there are many things out of, there are many things that are happening to us that we should be grateful for. If
Yes.
we look at them, our heart will be filled with kindness.
Oh, yes. And it's funny, I wrote down today, as you ended it, my thing to talk about today was gratitude, hope, and moving forward. And how do we do it? We don't script these guys. This is just
No.
Brie and I speaking from our hearts with some themes that we think about. So I'm here, as you know, I've got my mom's angel cards. I just pulled three of them. The first
Okay.
is responsibility. We have a
Mm,
responsibility to ourselves and to others to be kind.
to be kind.
Grace. We keep talking about grace.
We
Grace.
need that.
And then the third is willingness. Willingness to be
It all
curious.
starts with willingness. Absolutely.
Yep. So, as always, it's amazing to be with you, my friend. Um,
It's amazing to be with you, Jane. You are one of those five people around me who keep
yes.
me positive and curious and
Yes.
loving and kind.
And you bring out the wisdom and this soul that is so deep, and also kindness and a bright light. And you're one of my five. So we are hoping that
Thank you.
you find your five. And if you have those five, reach out to them today and tell them, and reach out to people that may be in grief. And maybe it's from 2 years ago, maybe it's from 5 years ago, and just check in. We all get so busy with our lives, we forget to check in on those who may need us.
Whatever you will give out to the world, you'll get it.
Yeah.
If not now, then soon. Also, you have our community, Hope Community. Every Wednesday is a reminder that we are here to hear you.
Yep.
Please join us.
Yes. And on the last Wednesday of the month, we go on Zoom, and we want
Hmm.
you there. Go to JaneStorm.com to find out more. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Wishing you a hopeful day.